Good evening, everybody. Naughty Beaver. I was just checking my feed, and oh, what a video popped up. What a tangled web they weave. I want you guys to take a look at the title of this. Pfizer whistleblower leaks execs' emails. We want to avoid having info on fetal cells out there. In biblical terms, the end times, and it said that every man, woman, and child will partake in the sin, if you will. I think that's what I'm going to title this video. I haven't decided yet, but watch this. I don't need to say a word.
I work at a pharmaceutical company. I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I just believe in research and science.
Well, in this database, you came across a chain of emails discussing fetal tissue and the COVID vaccine. Vanessa Gelman, who works in Washington, D.C., is Senior Director of Worldwide Research. The question came up as an inquiry to our MedInfo group. They're asking, quote, did Pfizer make use of a cell line from an aborted fetus?
They want you to leave out the highlighted part, which is the one or more cell lines with an origin that can be traced back to human fetal tissue has been used in laboratory tests associated with the vaccine program.
And here we have your badge. You are an employee of Pfizer?
I work at the McPherson, Kansas plant. It's one of the biggest plants in the operation of Pfizer. We produce some of the most units.
This message from Vanessa Gilman.
From the perspective of corporate affairs, we want to avoid having the information on the fetal cell lines floating out there. We believe that the risk of communicating this right now outweighs any potential benefit that we could see, particularly with general members of the public who may take this information and use it in ways we may not want it out there.
You see this? There were preachers that I saw around the world that had done their own investigations, and they already knew this. They were preaching to the flock in their own ways about this form of Satanism. I don't care how you want to look at it. Depending how much of the rabbit hole you've explored in this world will tell you just how deep it's going to go. But those people, I saw them one by one getting their heads cut off. They were called conspiracy theorists, and so on and so on, disinformation. But yet here it is. Here come the leaks.
We have not received any questions from policymakers or media on this issue in the last few weeks, so we want to avoid raising this if possible.
So wow. There's the key. The government didn't ask any questions, and the media didn't ask any questions, so it doesn't matter. All the people around the world that are trying to fight this in their own way and for their own reasons, this is what they have to say. The right people that we paid off never asked us any questions. The policymakers in the media.
Avoid raising this if possible.
Wow. We believe that the risk of communicating this right now outweighs any potential benefit we could see. They ought to put that on American currency. Philip,
you see that? If we told the public the truth, it would outweigh the benefit. These are the people. This is the group. This is how it's done in this world. From the controllers to the media to the governments, as corrupt and rotten as you could ever fathom. And how this video is even still alive makes you wonder. But 1.3 million subscribers, you're not going to bury it under the rug. The people have spoken. I want to watch this a little bit deeper. I'll just leave a link to it if you guys want to check it all out. But it's all I want to show you on this subject. It was the truth. The media didn't ask the questions, the government turned a blind eye on it, and they don't feel that it's the right time to tell anybody until after they've partook in the sin. So now you've got a really, really big problem when it comes to spirituality. Even the simplest of practicing religious people would know better than to even consider such a thing without even being told. I would rather die than stick an aborted fetus inside my body, regardless of what they said. But when you go down the rabbit hole, you're going to find a much, much darker and deeper meaning behind it all. And that was the problem from the very beginning. Doesn't matter what the emails say, but from a spiritual perspective, now you're playing with fire. The reason behind it all is that negative people attract negative events in this world. People might believe that they're in a righteous state or this or that or the other thing, but when you're partaking in these types of things in this world, bad things are going to happen to you. Your life truly is divinely protected, whether you believe it or not. Always has been. But inside this earth matrix that we live in, when you get out of line, there were certain protocols put in place there to kind of get people back in tune. Some might call it karma. Seemingly righteous people that seemingly have righteous lives are partaking in the most heinous of sin imaginable. Many are going to be horrified when this gets around to enough of the public. just for their own reasons. It's not for me to tell people what to do, and I'm not. But this is the type of thing that is going on, and depending how much you know about Satanism, reptilians, all the crazy things happening in this world, do I even need to say anything else? So what happens if you have a whole world and participating in something insanely unrighteous like this? Well, bad things are going to come to bad people, especially in these times. And that was my big warning from the very beginning about nothing touches your temple. I don't know what's going on the grandest scheme of things. I've heard enough from the Palladians to form my own opinion. I've heard what the Bible said about the mark of the beast, and I realized that it also said nobody's going to see it coming. Well, here it is. It's coming.
Dormitzer, Vice President, Chief Scientific Officer. These are not low-level people here. So you're showing us emails between the Vice President of Pfizer, the Senior Director of Worldwide Research, about how to couch it a certain way, because we would not want to tell the people that it can be traced back to human fetal tissue. Copying Vanessa Gelman, we have an approved answer to this question, the question being about fetal tissue, which Vanessa can probably provide. HEK2932, what does that mean? HEK cells?
Human embryo kidney cells, and it was from experiment 293.
They've used cells from aborted fetuses.
Yes,
and they
HEK
don't want the
cells.
public to know that.
Yes.
That's staggering.
That's all I'm going to show you from this. I haven't even watched the video, but I will definitely leave a link for you guys if you want to see it with your own eyes. Why I bring this up and continue to, it's for the doubters that I see on my channel. For the people that still love to spew, calling people crazy and so on, you might want to consider what you're a part of. That's all I'm trying to tell to people. I respect your opinion and your rights in this world. I truly do. I will fight and die for your right to call me an idiot. I highly doubt that courtesy would be extended on the other foot. That's the problem with this world. At the very least, I'm going to continue to poke at this. It's the doubters, it's the haters out there, it's the people calling us the crazy ones and so on. You got to get a delicate taste of reality in the coming years. I'm trying to soften the blow. The problem is it's not done. And people, I hope, are realizing that follow this channel, what the Palladians have said from the beginning. It's not one needle, it's not two. And those two that you think you're going to take are not going to fix anything. And at this point in time, they were 100% correct. If you go to Israel, 50% of all hospitalizations now are people with double pokes. This is not good news. So what's the solution going to be? Exactly what they said from the beginning. Another one and another one. The world is not going to see it coming. It's not necessarily all done in one needle, two needles, or whatever it might be in this world, but you're talking over the span of a few years. So given how prophetic the Pleiadians were on the subject, I'm all ears. To be prophetic is to actually tell the future, and it come to be flawlessly. Knowing that they are time travelers is one thing that doesn't make them prophets or saints. They can jump ahead in time and see the cause and effect of what's going on in the world. That's the end of my show. I love you lots. Beaver, take care.
Yes.
That's staggering for society because of what you said, religious exemptions.
And they're denying our religious exemptions at Pfizer.
This is serious stuff you're dealing with. These are powerful people and a very powerful company.
They're withholding knowledge on people's approval if they can consent or not.
I was just about to finish outputting this video. I only caught this out of the corner of my eye when I sat back down to watch the rest of it. Look at this in the title. On the other hand, the Vatican Doctrinal Committee has confirmed that they consider it acceptable for pro-life believers to be immunized. Nostradamus just became as prophetic as they're ever going to come on this planet. This is a 500-year-old image of the final Pope of the earth, Peter of Rome, the betrayer of Christianity. Do I even have to say any more on the subject? They're the ones directly responsible for roping in the Christian flock. They are Satanists. Exactly what the Palladians have said and exactly what Nostradamus had fingered 500 years ago. This is the flock. He is the betrayer. He is the final Pope of the earth. And this is why. This is how. This is it right inside of here. So the Vatican decided for the Christian flock. And then the Vatican betrayed the Christian flock by telling them it's okay and hiding the information. I have truly done my part to honor Nostradamus' work. I truly have. There's nothing more I have to say on the subject of the Vatican until it's taken down, as he said it would be. This is the final act. This is the the greatest truth I could ever share with the Christian flock about their betrayal from on high. I can't do any more. All I can do is show people the great truth. All I can do is follow prophecy that I was guided to do from the beginning. Horrifyingly, it all is coming to be. This is the curse upon my life, but this is the best that I could do, because here it is right there. Right out of Pfizer in and of itself. The Vatican decided this was acceptable for the Christian flock. If that's not enough to take down the Vatican in this world, I can't help Christianity any further. This is as much your cause as it is mine. If it wasn't for Nostradamus and just a simple image, I probably wouldn't have cared about any of this. As soon as the world rallies around this great truth about what the Vatican truly stands for, we will see change. It's got to fall because it's the head of everything. Love you lots.
She's just making sure, just be clear, you would like medical information to reply with the text in red below, including the highlighted section.
Okay.
Thanks again. And then they responded with,
no, I would prefer that we do not use the text in yellow.
They're being so deceptive in their emails, it's almost like it is in the final vaccine. It just made me not trust it.
There was an issue with the FDA, and
I heard something about they're doing some sort of tests in there with lights, but I'm not sure. And I said, in unoccupied rooms and in a group lead office? And he goes, well, the FDA is coming. I could not believe that they were blacking out windows down in our manufacturing rooms. We are told that you should be seen at all times, that we need to make sure that we have high integrity, and the rooms that are like this one where you can see my reflection, it's a group lead office where they just do the paperwork for the batches. So why does that need blacked out?
And why did you decide to come to Project Veritas?
Because I felt it was the right thing to do. I feel like I have no one else to turn to when my own company won't be honest with me. What I was told to do was to trust Project Veritas and to go with you guys, by lawmakers, by lawyers.
Really?
I was really genuinely traumatized and sickened from the things I saw, and I needed to leave there. So I just took a leave of absence so that I could gather my thoughts and really kind of heal from this information.
The extraordinary act of blowing the whistle on the company and publishing emails from their vice president is another step entirely. Are you afraid of doing this?
A little bit. I have faith that I'll be protected, or whatever the outcome is what it's supposed to be. So I'm at peace with it. I'm a little anxious on what they'll do or what they'll say, but it needs to be seen by the people because they're trying to get this to kids. And if they're being this deceptive about it, I don't feel comfortable being silent.
The government doesn't want to show that the darn vaccine is full of shit.